cutting in 1-inch long strips. So I'm going to try and put it in that, and then we're going to grind it. Homemade bait, we have 4 pounds, 4 ounces of finely ground deer meat. We're going to mark this, and we want it to grow from here to here. We're going to mark it here. It should start bubbling and grow up, and we want 1 inch of gray on top before we add the sodium Okay, this is day 1. I've put my homemade coyote bait, 4 pounds, 4 ounces into well, that's weird looking, almost looks like it's cooked. Almost no smell. Wonder if I should stir it. Looks like it's just drying out. You know what? We better put a lid on it. That's 5 days in. It doesn't smell at all like I thought it would. It smells like piss. But interesting. Look at the liquid in it. Went from being solid to having lots of liquid in it, but it's bubbling. But it smells like piss. It smells like, I don't know. Looks like got some mold growing in it. Okay, we're 5 days in. I'm going to go ahead and treat it. Never really turned gray. We do have some mold growing, but notice how pink it is. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's actually sizzling. The other thing is the container is hot to the touch. But it stinks. It smells like pea that's been fermented for a while. I've had it on top of the water heater because it's too cold outside. It's 4 pounds, 4 ounces of ground deer meat. I'm going to go ahead and stop the taint. I'm going to use sodium benzoate from F&T. I'm going to mix 1 cup in warm water and pour it in it and wait a week. Then I'm going to strain it, and I'm going to use the liquid as a liquid bait solution because I was surprised how dry it was, and now it's really wet. But you'll see it's bubbling, it's sizzling, it smells just like you, or sounds just like you opened a can of pop. And has that sizzling sound, and it's warm when you pick it up. It hasn't grown at all. It's actually shrunk from where I marked it here. You'll see originally it was here. Now it's down to here. It's actually shrunk, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to take it out, put the sodium benzoate in it, and I'm going to seal it in a 5-gallon bucket to keep the flies out. But it's got to go outside because it's starting to smell pretty ripe. But I was surprised at the smell. It's not a rotten smell. It smells like urine. Well, let's take it outside, but it's raining out there. But let's get at it. Okay, this is day 2 after I've added the sodium. It had a 5-day tank to it, 4 pounds 4 ounces of ground deer meat, 5-day taint. Then I added 1 cup of sodium, whatever that stuff's called. Dissolved it in about 3 cups of water. It still didn't cover the meat, so I added another cup or 2 of water, so I covered the meat with it. If you notice, it is swelled about 2 inches, about 2 inches, and absorbed the water. No longer has standing water in it. It has grown. It is about 40 degrees. It got below freezing last night. It's now outside. It no longer smells like piss. It smells like really strong deer meat. Really happy with it so far. Just wonder if I should add more water to cover it or not. But I think you're supposed to let it sit for what, 7-8 days, so the sodium can take effect. So that's where we're at now. It's 2 days. I just uncovered it, stirred it, didn't stir it yesterday, stirred it today, and I'll give it another 2 days, stir it again, and then take another look at it. I'll seal it back up, make sure flies don't get in it. I'm 5 or 6 days into this 4.5 pound deer meat tank. I'm stirring it every other day. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup sodium benzoate in some distilled water because I want the water covering the top. So far I'm really impressed with it. It smells really good. It doesn't stink, it just smells like deer. Really good. So I'm really happy. I'm going to give it 2 more days. I've been stirring it every other day. I'm going to give it about 2 more days, and then I'm going to bottle it in mason jars. So far I'm pretty happy with it. So I just had a gnat fly in there. Hope that's a gnat. So we're going to try and can this into mason jars. Don't know how many quart mason jars or pint mason jars. I'm also going to put some of the driest meat I can get in these Gatorade bottles, and I'm going to fill them with probably vegetable oil or mineral oil, and I'm going to try and tincture it to use as a trailing scent off trails. And boy, Duchess sure likes that tainted meat, doesn't she? Say hi to the internet, Duchess. Anyways, so that's what we're up to today. Trying to do this for the sunsets. But anyways, I'm gonna want water covering the meat so that it can marinate, and I don't think I'm gonna add any glycerin at this point. I'm gonna wait till I start to use it and add glycerin when I open the jar. I'm also going to take some Fleming's Predator bait that there's very little left in the jar and add some of this to it and stir it up. Maybe that will spice it up a little bit. So back to you in a little bit. So the task is completed. 4 pounds 4 ounces of 5-day tainted deer meat goes into 7 pint mason jars. One didn't fill up all the way, but I do want it sort of runny and juicy. It doesn't dry out so much. I mixed some of this Fleming Predator's bait, mixed it in with that. Hopefully it'll absorb some of the smell. And these I'm going to fill with vegetable oil, and I'm going to shake them every day and see if it doesn't, I can't make a trailing scent where I can pour it out. My biggest problem this year was constant rain. Every time you turned around, every other day it rained, and it washed a lot of my scent away. If I use an oil-based scent, I don't think it's gonna maybe it won't wash away so easily. So there you have it. Homemade venison tainted coyote predator bait, and can't wait to put it on the line. I am going to let some of it sit for months and months and months and marinate it, but I was in a hurry to get it under cover, so I'm afraid of flies. I already had a gnat fly in there, but anyway, I do need to mark it because I do can my deer meat, and I'd hate to open one of these to eat and thinking I was getting fresh canned deer meat and end up with coyote bait. So tight chains, guys. Guys, here's my idea on a trailing scent. I put some of that 5-day tainted deer meat in a jug and filled it with vegetable oil, and if I shake this every couple days, it should disassociate the water out of the meat, and I would think the oil would then take up the scent, and I can use it as a trailing scent, and don't have to worry about the dew and the rain washing it away as much with it being an oil. And boy, when I open the bottles, man, this stuff's going to be good. It smells good. So it's not rotten. It's not a rotten smell. It's just really strong tainted deer smell. So it's already changed the color of the oil just doing this a couple times. So I think it's going to work really well. Let it marinate a little bit there and separate the water out of the meat, and then I can strain it and put it in a like a ketchup bottle or something where I can squirt it to use it as a trailing scent.